There are always things you're not supposed to say, and that's not just a feature of modern America or modern China. And indeed, in the past, things were often much more restrictive than today. Among the most notorious examples is the so-called exam case. It happened 299 years ago during the 4th year of the reign of the Yongzheng Emperor. Pictured here, a man who always loved cosplay being depicted almost as a scholar reading some text. And I chose this image because the story is about very close, really too close reading. Back in that time, and we're talking around 1726, there was a provincial examiner who made some very ill-fated choices. The exam system was an empire-wide institution, a major access point if you passed into official position and power, and so it was well scrutinized from above and below. This particular exam commissioner in Jiangxi province set a number of questions, most of which were very uncontroversial and were quotations from classical sources. The fourth, though, was this. Now, anyone who had decently prepared, committing more than 400,000 characters worth of the classical corpus into solid memory, would have instantly recognized it as a line from the Book of Songs, a collection of poems from about the 11th to the 7th century BCE. The poem is known as the Xuanwu, if you would like to look it up. And so the typical candidate went on to write an 8-legged essay on the themes of this line and the larger poem. More than a few, however, focused quite closely on the second half of that line, not for its meaning, which is something like where the people reside, but for a detail even more obscure, depending upon your point of view. Note the first and last character of that phrase. If you put them together, they look very similar to the 2-character phrase I've added below, Yongzheng, which was the reign name of the contemporary emperor. But the difference, you'll see, is that the tops have been chopped off, indicative clearly of a regicidal intent. The commissioner who had set this question would die in prison a year later, and all of his fellow provincials from Zhejiang were barred from taking the highest level metropolitan exams in the following year, 1727. Ever since, this 4-character phrase from the question, the quotation, has taken on an additional meaning outside the poem from which it was plucked to imply a certain kind of crazed censorship of this type. A reminder that words matter and a slip of the tongue or of the brush can have deadly consequences.